Hey, welcome back to the Fit to Survive channel. So we're doing a versus kind of comparison between these two flashlights. So this is the Wuben X3. I've reviewed this before on my channel, if you guys have already seen that review. Now this is the Boruit V15. So of course something new here. And so when I saw the specs on this and just the overall design of the flashlight, I know I had to do a side-by-side, show you guys the two of these together and let you maybe choose which one you think matches or fits your needs best. And so at the end of the video, let me know down in the comments which one you like better between the two. And so basically what we'll do is we'll start with just some of the specs. I think the main thing a lot of people look at when they are wanting to buy a flashlight is the max output of lumens. So the Boruit has a turbo of 1200 lumens. It does come with a small disadvantage. So a little bit to start with, you can see you have a power button right here. Then on the right, you have the little like lightning sign. So the power button, if you press and hold that down, it's going to give you your turbo. That's where you get your 1200 lumens. But here's the deal is you can't just leave that on. As soon as you let go, you lose the turbo. All right, so the X3, it has a turbo of only 700 lumens, which of course is significantly dimmer than the Boruit V15 here. But whenever you turn it on, you do a double click. You see right here, it shows 700 lumens. That's the turbo. But again, now that is hands-free. And that's going to last for quite a while. I've actually left this on the turbo. It's not kind of like some flashlights that have like a really insane turbo. It only lasts for a few seconds and then it drops down the brightness. This actually holds really well. And so while the Boruit is brighter, has a brighter turbo, it does have the slight disadvantage of you have to hold down that button. All right, so the V15. Here's the turbo, 1200 lumens. I've compared that to the X3. So the turbo was 700 lumens. Turn this on again so you can see them side by side. So the 1200 definitely is brighter, as you'd expect. All right, then you have, it's gonna be the high on the V15. Medium, sorry, at the low, and the echo. So the echo, it's still, you can see it's quite out there, quite a ways. I mean, it's not really a moonlight. Then on the X3, turn this on, you have it should be the high. This is 150 lumens. All right, then you have the medium. All right, then this is the moonlight here. Just 1 lumen, so you can't hardly see it out there in the distance. All right, so if you look at it that way, the Boruit definitely has a higher output in the turbo, but once again, without major disadvantage of you have to hold down the button to get the turbo. Whereas here you get to double click and it stays on by itself. All right, so then moving on from there, you'll notice here in the front of the Boruit, you have these side lights. And so of course, no side light on the X3. And so what you do is you double click on this and then you go through these different lights basically. And so this is the red. Then you have the red strobing. You have I guess it's like a police lights imitator. Or then they call this basically a warm light. I'd call it maybe an amber. And so this is like 35 lumens. And so like if you wanted to set it up, again, it's not gonna be that bright to where you could really illuminate a lot of workspace here. Nonetheless, you could set it up if you want it like that. They also have the white light, which is going to be brighter, it has 50 lumens. And then you scroll back through and you get the red again, and so on. The red, by the way, is only 12 lumens, and so it's a really dim light. But again, okay, it's kind of interesting. For me personally, I'm not sure how often I would use the side lights. It's definitely a really unique feature. You can see have all those LED lights there. You have the white, the red, the amber, and then I'm not sure what the rest of these are going to be. But anyways, it is an interesting feature that it has. Be able to do that there. Now with the X3, again, like I said, it doesn't have any side lights. If you press and hold this down, you'll get the red light, which in my review I already mentioned, but out of all the flashlights I've ever used, this has the brightest red light I've ever seen. It's only 80 lumens, but it almost reaches farther and even seems brighter than the white flashlight does, the white LED does. That's insane, in my opinion, just how bright that is. All right, you click this, you go through. Let's see, you actually got to hold this down. All right, it also has the strobe, which is also fairly bright. And then you hold it down. Oops, I held it down too long. Or then you have the low, and it's just like, all again, one lumen here, but it's a red lumen. And so the way this is set up is on the left here, you have the red LED, and the white you have, I'm going to turn that on. You have the white LED over here. All right, so, but they're both in the front. But then that takes us to the next thing that is very similar about both of these, is they both have swiveling heads. So the X3, you can see here, it twists sideways like this. And so it has 180 degrees rotation there. And so then your button is on the top. And so it's kind of add a bit of brightness here. All right, and so you could also set this up if you wanted to like illuminate your workspace, or you could take advantage of the magnet here, set it to, let's say, the side of your car. That way it's shining down, kind of illuminating the side of your car wherever you're working. And then it does stay on as you swivel. And so if you wanted at a different degree, you can do that as well. So the Boruit, the head of this also swivels, but it swivels 80 degrees, and that is 40 degrees in either direction. So if you see, okay, so that's it right there. And it swivels this way as well. So back and forward, which I really wish that it swiveled in one direction, like just, let's say, down this way to where, I guess you call it, what, 90 degrees maybe? Down, so it'd be like exactly straight, like at an angle. For the same reason, because on the back, you also have a magnet. And so if you're working on your car, and you want it to attach this to the metallic side of your car, and then shine down when you're working, you'll see that the light's going to kind of miss. Whereas on the X3, turn this on here, or you can see kind of side by side how the X3 points straight down, and then the Boruit points down at an angle. And so, I mean, it's going to get you a bit of extra, maybe, I don't know, some advantages where you can actually set this depending on where you have it set up, and it's going to shine the way you want. But again, it do have a bit of a limit there with that. All right, so I already mentioned that both these have a magnet on the back, which again, that's really cool. I like when flashlights have a magnet in the back. Several times I use that, again, just to kind of get you hands-free and pointing the direction you want. So they also both have a pocket clip. Now the X3 only has one directional. As you can see, you can only attach this in one direction here. A nice stiff pocket clip there. And on the Boruit, you have a two-way side pocket clip. And so depending on if you want to attach it to your cap, you can attach this to your, like a baseball cap right there. Or if you put it in your pocket, you fit it in right there. And so definitely an advantage of it having a two-directional pocket clip. I prefer those over the one-directional. All right, so let's see, we mentioned the magnet. So the body of both of these are plastic. I guess they call it like an ABS plastic. This is their, I think it's their smoky gray. They do have a white one as well, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, for me personally, I think white would have been a bit cooler. But anyways, so they have the white, they have this smoky gray. The X3, it also comes in several colors. You have the white, you have a blue, and a black, if I remember correctly. And the white one on this is actually, it's got a slightly luminescent body. And so whenever you charge it up, again, in this light, you can't really see that well. There you go. So you can see that the body is luminescent. And so that's just an extra little cool feature that this has. So next thing that's actually kind of important when you get in a flashlight is the built-in battery. So this is a lithium battery here, and it's 1200 milliamp hours. It is charged by Type-C. So right over here in this corner. Pop it open, you can see you got the Type-C charging port right there. So 1200 milliamp hour battery, whereas on the X3, you have a 1000 milliamp hour built-in lithium battery. And also you'll notice there is no charging port. This is instead wireless charged wirelessly. And so this particular model, it has its own charging case to where you just slide this in there and it'll start charging it. All right, you can see there on the screen that it's starting to charge it. But that also does open up another cool feature. So with it having the wireless charging, you can also use a different charging port. Let's say whatever you use for your phone, or even like this night core here, where you just drop this on there and you can see how it's starting to kind of blink blue, which basically, it's charging it up. And so, I mean, honestly, does it get any cooler than that? Having your flashlight where the wireless charging, you have its own charging basically is a charging bank, you could say, where you can put sorry, not your phone. You can put your flashlight in here, and it'll charge it up wirelessly, and you can actually use it at the same time. And so, for example, on the front here, the diffuser, and so if you swivel this around, slide it in here, turn it on, and you see it works as a diffuser, and then it's going to charge itself up also while it's inside of its charging bank. All right, and also doubly cool, the charging bank also works as a power bank. And so if you are carrying your flashlight in the charging case, which by the way, mine is plastic. It's from the Kickstarter series. The newer ones are an actual aluminum body, which I think that's even cooler. And they also do come in white. All right, so anyways, this also works as a power bank. So you can see plug in here, Type-C, you need Type-C to Type-C. And then we can start charging up this other flashlight. Which, I don't know, maybe this is a sin to use a Wuben charger to charge up the competition here. All right, you see the blinking red light. And so basically we're charging from here, charging this flashlight up. But of course, I mean, the main reason that I would want to use that is to charge up my phone. So again, Type-C to Type-C, that would work well with my phone. All right, so really cool here. Again, we're having that charging case. Now they do also have the X3. We can buy it with a charging stand. And I'm not even sure how that works exactly because I've only reviewed this particular model. All right, so a couple of things here between the two. So the Boruit has an IP67 waterproof rating, which is pretty good. It's gonna be good for your typical splashes and so on. Whereas the Wuben X3 has an IP65 waterproof rating, which is only good for like being sprayed, like you got some rain and so on, but you don't want to submerge this. I'm going to assume that the reason is because it has this OLED screen here, which I'm sure you guys have already noticed, where it's going to show you the lumens you have setting. It's going to show you up top also the battery amount remaining. And then as you scroll through it, of course, it's going to change to show you the setting that you're on. All right, so again, that's a really cool feature, having that LED screen right there. But again, it does make you lose a bit of the waterproofing with that. All right, so the charging case, one thing I did fail to mention, this has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery in here. And so as long as you're carrying these together, you're basically getting 4,000 milliamps out of them to combine per se. All right, so that is basically it for these two flashlights. Last thing is gonna be the price. And that may be the breaking point because the Boruit costs $33. And right before I record this video, I checked online on Amazon, and they do have a $5 coupon, which brings us down to $28. So you get this flashlight for $28. Again, compact size, you get these side lights, the 1200 lumen turbo right there, all the features, $28. I mean, that's honestly a pretty good price if you ask me for a flashlight. Whereas the X3, with the charging case, it costs right around $110. And again, I did check also on Amazon right before I did the video, and they have it marked down to like $87, and you can get like a 5% coupon that you can like click and select or whatever. Or you can go directly to their website and you can pick it up for $82. So anyways, we'll just say right around $87 for the Wuben X3. And so you can basically just about buy 3 of these for the price of 1 of these. And so if you're looking for a cheap flashlight that you can toss into your backpack, and you're not concerned if you lose it or whatever else, I think this is a pretty good buy, being cheap, having plenty of features to it. Again, with the side lights, you got the magnet, your clip, and all this stuff. I think it's a pretty good buy at $28. If you're looking for something a bit more premium, maybe unique, but at the same time, quite a bit more expensive, I think the Wuben X3 is a pretty cool little flashlight, and definitely one of my favorites in my flashlight collection. But anyways, I'll have links to both of these flashlights down in the description of the video. Let me know what you guys think. Which one do you like better? Do you like having the cheaper flashlight with pretty decent specs? I mean, honestly, no complaints as far as for the specs. This thing really stands up for itself. Or do you like having something maybe a bit more unique, a bit more expensive, maybe even a bit more premium? So anyways, let me know down in the comments which one you think is the winner in this competition. And thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.